The ocean has always been humanity's greatest vault. A vault that swallows fortunes in gold, jewels, and entire ships, then locks them away beneath walls of salt water and silence. But where there are locks, there are always keys. And for centuries, those keys have belonged to people who dared to dive into the unknown, willing to risk everything for a whisper of treasure. These are the salvage divers, the treasure hunters of the deep, a community bound not by greed alone, but by obsession, mystery, and sometimes tragedy. Imagine for a moment standing on the deck of a storm-battered ship in the 17th century. Spanish galleons, swollen with silver and emeralds mined from the New World, are sailing home when a hurricane hurls them against the reefs of Florida. Entire fleets vanish in one night, their cargo scattered across the ocean floor. For the survivors, it was loss beyond comprehension. For the ocean, it was a feast. And for future generations of treasure hunters, it was the beginning of an obsession that would span centuries. But this isn't just a story about pirates or lone adventurers with shovels and maps marked with an X. In reality, treasure hunting became something far stranger and far more organized. By the 20th century, salvage diving had become a community, a brotherhood and sisterhood of engineers, daredevils, historians, and outlaws. They are the ones who spend years studying ancient shipping records in dusty archives, learning which ships left with riches and never returned. They are also the ones who descend into black, freezing water, knowing that one wrong move means death. And yet, ask any diver, and they'll tell you, the thrill of the unknown is worth it. Take Mel Fisher, for instance, one of the most legendary figures in the world of treasure diving. For decades, Fisher searched for the Spanish galleon Nuestra Señora de Atocha, lost in 1622. Years passed, fortunes dried up, and friends mocked him as a fool. But Fisher's team kept repeating their mantra, "Today's the day." After 16 grueling years, in 1985, the wreck was found, laden with gold bars, silver coins, emeralds, and priceless artifacts worth hundreds of millions. Fisher's discovery became a symbol of both the promise and the peril of treasure hunting. To outsiders, it was luck. To the salvage diving community, it was the ultimate reward for relentless dedication. But the world of salvage diving is not just about jackpots. For every triumphant find, there are hundreds of dives that yield nothing but broken timbers and sand. Some divers spend their entire lives chasing wrecks that never reveal themselves. Others are thwarted not by the ocean, but by the law. Because the moment treasure is involved, governments, museums, and corporations rush in, demanding their share. Battles over ownership can stretch for decades, turning divers into defendants in courtrooms instead of heroes at sea. And yet, the community of salvage divers grows tighter through these struggles. They swap stories in waterfront bars, share half-forgotten tips about currents and reefs, and teach each other the tricks of navigating both the sea and the law. There is rivalry, of course, competition for the next big wreck. But there is also camaraderie, because only those who have stared into the black water truly understand what it takes to return with something more than scars. The dangers are not exaggerated. Imagine sinking into the hull of a ship that has been asleep under the ocean for 300 years. The wood is fragile, the beams unpredictable. Your light cuts through the water, and suddenly the ceiling shifts. Entire sections of wrecks have collapsed on divers, burying them where they sought treasure. Others are dragged away by sudden currents, or lose track of which way is up when silt fills the water. And then there are the predators, not mythical sea monsters, but sharks, barracudas, and poisonous jellyfish that see no difference between a diver and prey. Still, what drives them isn't always gold. Many divers insist the real treasure is the story. Every coin lifted from the sand is a fragment of history pulled back into the light. The rusted cannon once fired in battle. The personal locket still clasped shut after centuries. These objects are time machines, offering glimpses into the lives of sailors, soldiers, and passengers who never made it home. The community of salvage divers sees themselves not just as hunters, but as archivists of the deep. Yet there's a darker side too, one rarely spoken of in glossy adventure magazines. Some wrecks hold human remains. Divers sometimes stumble on skulls half buried in sand, bones scattered among cargo, or entire skeletons locked in cabins. For the community, these moments are sobering. They remind everyone that treasure hunting is not just about gold, It's about tragedy, loss, and lives cut short. Some divers admit they whisper apologies to the dead before lifting anything from their resting place. Others refuse to touch certain wrecks at all, out of respect. And then there's the modern twist. Today, salvage divers face a new kind of competition. Robotic submarines, sonar mapping, and corporations with billion-dollar equipment. The lone diver with a mask and fins has been replaced by teams with research vessels and cutting-edge technology. Some in the community embrace this, calling it evolution. Others see it as the death of adventure, the end of the personal bond between diver and discovery. After all, can a robot feel the pulse of excitement when its light first touches a lost coin? Despite these changes, the spirit of the salvage diver community endures. Because at its heart, it's not about machines, governments, or lawsuits. It's about the eternal human desire to uncover what is hidden, to prove that with courage, patience, and obsession, even the secrets buried under oceans can be brought to light. The ocean still guards its treasures jealously. Millions of shipwrecks are estimated to rest beneath the waves, most untouched, their cargo waiting in silence. And somewhere out there, even as you listen to this, a salvage dive team is preparing. They're packing oxygen tanks, checking ropes, and reviewing maps, repeating the same words Mel Fisher once lived by. Today's the day. Perhaps it will be. Perhaps it won't. But for the community of salvage divers, the hunt is never just about the prize. It's about the descent itself, the silence of the deep, the thrill of discovery, the bond of those who dare to search where others fear to look. In the end, their true treasure may not be the gold at all, but the stories they